In this tutorial, we will be using Blender to make this 3D scene. When Blender opens, this is the default scene. It loads with the default cube from which modelling begins. If I press the render button, this is how my scene looks. It is a little too dark. Press escape to return to the default scene. I want to improve the lighting. Left click on the world button. In the world properties panel, scroll down to environment lighting. Left click in the checkmark box. Left click on the render properties that looks like a camera and then left click this render button. The scene is now more brightly lit. Escape key to return to default scene. X key and left click key to delete. N key to open new properties panel. Scroll to background images and left click to place the checkmark in box. Underneath this, left click on add image button. I want to add an image that I can model from. Underneath this, click on open. A new window will appear that allows me to navigate to my files. The file I need is on my desktop, so I left click on this option. Click on the file I need to select. Left click on open image in the top right. Blender now returns to default scene, but there is no sign of the image that I opened. Number pad 1 for front view and number pad 5 for orthographic mode. The image can now be seen. It can only ever be seen while in orthographic view. With the middle mouse button, scroll to zoom in. By holding down shift and middle mouse button, the view can be panned from left to right and up and down. I want to zoom right into the house so I can model it. Now press left click in about the middle of the house. The cursor now appears in this spot. Any mesh that is now added will appear here. Shift and A keys together and this menu appears. Using the mouse, navigate to the cube and left click. A cube now appears in the scene. Press Z for wireframe mode. This allows us to see through the mesh. By pressing the S key and moving the mouse up or down, the mesh can be increased and decreased in size. The mesh can be moved by left clicking and holding on the X, Y, Z arrows. By pressing S then Z, I can scale on the Z axis. I am trying to scale and position the cube to the size of the house. Number pad 7 key to see the cube from a top view. The cube is a bit too square. I want to make it more rectangular shaped. S and Y to scale along the Y axis. This makes the cube longer. Number pad 1 key to return to front view. Holding down the middle mouse button and moving the mouse can rotate the mesh, allowing me to see from different viewpoints. Z key to return to solid view. I now need to make changes to the cube. To do this, press the Tab key to go to edit mode. Press A key once or twice so nothing is selected. If something is selected, it will be a yellow colour. I need to add geometry to the cube. Press Ctrl and R to make a loop cut and slide. Hover the cursor over the centre of the edge where the loop cut is needed. By default it will go to the centre of the mesh. The line is purple. Left click to place the loop cut and slide. A yellow line will appear in the centre of the mesh. Right click to place the loop cut. Return to front view by pressing number pad 1 key. A to deselect the loop cut. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the cube. Towards the bottom of the screen is vertex, edge and face select. Left click on edge select and right click on the centre edge of the top face of the cube. Number pad 1 key for front view. Left click on the blue Z axis arrow and drag up. The centre edge can be raised like the roof of the house. Hold down the middle mouse button and rotate the view. We now have a house shape. A to deselect. At bottom of the screen, left click on face select. This will allow us to select faces on the mesh. Right click on the top faces of the mesh. Number pad 1 key for front view. E key to extrude and enter key. This will extrude the faces. E to extrude faces again. Press the Z key and move the mouse upwards until the faces meet the outlines of the sketch. Left click to place. A to deselect the faces. C for circle select. A circle appears and is a useful way to select vertices, edges and faces. The size of the circle can be increased or decreased by scrolling in and out on the middle mouse button. Left click on the faces that are demonstrated in the video. We need to get around to the back of the house. To do this, press Escape key to come out of Circle Select. Hold down middle mouse button to rotate to the back of the house. C key to return to Circle Select. Left click on each of the remaining faces. The circle can also be dragged across multiple faces with left click pressed. Escape key to exit Circle Select. Number pad 1 key to return to front view. Press the S key, then pull down on the mouse to scale up the selected faces. Left click to make the change. Hold down middle mouse button to rotate the mesh. We now have an overhanging roof. A to deselect faces. Number pad 1 for front view. Z key for wireframe mode. Control and R to add loop cut and slide. I will do this a number of times to add edges of windows and door. Hover the mouse over the centre of the edge where the loop cut is needed. A purple line will appear. Left click to place the loop cut and drag to the left to the edge of the window frame. Left click to commit the position. Repeat this process to make the vertical loop cuts of the door and the window edges. Do the same to make the horizontal edges. This time the loop cut is not straight. We will fix this. Left click to place the loop cut. Press the following keys, S, Z and number pad 0. Enter. The line is now straight. Left click and press on the blue arrow and drag into position. Repeat this process for the next loop cut. Z for solid view. A to deselect all. Towards bottom of screen, left click on the faces button. Holding down Shift key, right click on the faces that are the windows and doors. Number pad 7 for top view. Z key for wireframe. E key and Y key and move mouse to extrude the faces into the house. The faces will be inset along the Y axis. Left click to commit the change. Z key for solid view. Holding down the middle mouse button, rotate the view to see the house from different angles. A to deselect all the faces. Hold down Shift key and right click on the bottom faces of the door. Number pad 1 for front view. E key and Z key to extrude the faces in the Z direction. Left click to commit the changes. If you make a mistake, press the Ctrl and Z keys to undo. Tab to get out of edit mode. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the house to see it from all angles. Tab key to return to edit mode. A key to select all the faces of the mesh. Left click on the material button in the properties panel. This allows us to add colours. Left click on new button. Left click on diffuse colour panel. From the colour wheel, choose a colour for the house. I have chosen a yellow colour for the house. Left click on the material slot to give the material a name. I have called mine house. Press enter to make the name change. Press the A key to deselect all faces. Right click on each of the window faces while holding down Shift. By holding Shift we can select more than one face. We need to make the windows a different colour than the house. To do this, we need to add a new material slot. To do this, left click on the plus symbol. Left click on the new button. Left click on diffuse colour panel. From the colour wheel, choose a blue colour for the windows. Left click and rename this new material Windows. Press enter. Now left click the assign button. A key to deselect all the faces. Holding down the Shift key, right click on the faces of the door. In the Materials panel, left click on the plus symbol to add a new material slot. Left click the New button. Left click on the Diffuse Colour panel. From the colour wheel, choose a colour for the door. I am choosing a red colour. The colours can be darkened or lightened by using the scroller to the right. Left click and rename this new colour as Door. Press Enter. Left click the Assign button to make the new material show. A key to deselect all the faces. Tab key to return to object mode. Holding down the middle mouse button, rotate the view. Number pad 1 key to go to front orthographic view. By holding down Shift and the middle mouse button, I can pan the view. By doing this, I can position a new view. Z key for wireframe. Shift and A keys together and this menu appears. Using the mouse, navigate to the cube and left click. A cube now appears in the scene. This cube will be the chimney, S to scale down. By left clicking and holding on the blue and red arrows, the cube can be positioned. Place it on the chimney. Keep scaling and using the arrows to position the chimney correctly. Press S and Z keys to scale the cube on the Z axis only. This makes it longer. Left click to commit the change. Use the Z arrow to move and level the cube to the chimney. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Number pad 7 key for top view. Left click and hold on the green arrow to position the chimney towards the front of the house. Number pad 1 key to return to front view. Tab key to return to edit mode. A key once or twice so nothing is selected. Holding down the middle mouse button, rotate the view to look down on the chimney. Right click the top face of the chimney. Number pad 1 key for front view. E key to extrude and enter. Press the S key and drag the mouse to scale the face outwards. Left click to make the change. E key and Z key to extrude in the Z direction. Left click to make the change. Tab to object mode. Z key for solid mode. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Number pad 1 key to return to front view. Left click on the chimney pot. This will make our new mesh appear near this position. Shift and A keys together and this menu appears. Using the mouse, navigate to the cylinder and left click. A cylinder appears in the scene. S key and drag the mouse down to scale it down. Left click to make the change. Z key for wireframe mode. S key and move the mouse downwards to get the cylinder to the correct size. Left click to make the change. Left click on the blue arrow to drag the cylinder to the correct position. Z key to return to solid view. Number pad 3 key for right orthographic view. Left click and hold on green arrow to drag the cylinder to the correct position. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Right click on the chimney to select. In the Materials panel, left click on the little arrows. Our existing materials are shown in the pop-up window. I want my chimney to be the same colour as the house. I need to select the house colour I made earlier by left clicking on it. This changes the colour of the chimney. Right click on the chimney pot. In the Materials panel, left click on New. Left click on the Diffuse Colour panel. From the colour wheel, choose the colour for the chimney pot. I have chosen a dark grey colour. Change the name of the material to chimney pot. Press Enter. Number pad 1 key for front view. Right click on the house mesh to select it. Tab to go into edit mode. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Hold down the C key for circle select. This circle can be increased or decreased in size. Hold down left click on the mouse and drag the circle over the faces of the roof. If we need to navigate to the other side of the roof, press the escape key Then hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the view. C key for circle select and drag over the remaining faces of the roof to select them. Repeat until all faces have been selected. In the Materials panel, left click on the plus symbol to add a new material slot. I want the roof to be the same colour as the chimney pot. This material has already been created. In the Materials panel, left click on the little arrows. Our existing materials are shown in the pop-up window. Left click on the chimney pot material to select it. Left click on the Assign button. The roof has now changed colour. Tab back to solid view. Holding down the middle mouse button, rotate the view. Number pad 1 key for front view. Right click on the chimney pot to select. Hold down shift key and right click on the chimney and then the house. In the tool shelf, left click on the join button. All of the meshes, the chimney pot and the house have become one mesh. Left click and hold the red arrow to move the house off to the left. Scroll the middle mouse button to zoom out. Hold the shift key and hold the middle mouse button to pan the view. Set up the view so that the skyscraper sketch is positioned in the centre of the screen. Left click in the centre of the skyscraper. This will make our new mesh appear near this position. Shift and A keys together. This menu appears. Using the mouse, navigate to the cube and left click. A new cube appears in the scene. S key and drag to get the cube to the same width as the skyscraper. Left click to make the change. Left click on the arrow keys and hold to drag the cube to the correct position. S key, then Z key and pull down on the mouse. The cube will lengthen on the Z axis. Left click when the cube is the desired size. Z key for wireframe. Left click and hold on the arrows to move to position. Z key for solid view. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the view. 1 on the number pad to return to front orthographic view. Tab key to go to edit mode. Z key for wireframe. A to deselect. Control and R to make a loop cut and slide. Hover the mouse over the centre of the edge where the loop cut is needed. A purple line will appear. Left click to place the loop cut and drag to the top window frame edge. Left click to commit the position. Control and R to make another loop cut and slide. Hover the mouse over the centre of the edge where the loop cut is needed. A purple line will appear. Left click to place the loop cut and drag to bottom of this window frame edge. Left click to commit the position. I will use the same technique to make the rest of the loop cuts. When this is done, I will have a number of horizontal and vertical lines. This will make faces for the windows. I now have all the faces needed to make windows. Z key to see the solid view. A key to deselect. Z key to return to wireframe. Towards the bottom of the screen, left click on face select. This will allow me to select multiple faces. Z key for wireframe. Right click on the face where the first window should be. Hold down shift while right clicking on alternate faces to select all the windows. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate view. Number pad 7 for top orthographic view. Hold down the middle mouse button and shift key to pan the view. Scroll on the middle mouse button to zoom in. Try to get the top of the skyscraper to the middle of the screen. Z key for wireframe. E key and Y key and move the mouse to extrude the faces inside the mesh. Left click to commit the change. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Z key to return to solid view. Tab key and zoom out and rotate the view to see how the mesh looks. Left click on the material button in the properties panel. This will allow me to add colours to the mesh. Left click on the New button. Left click on the Diffuse Colour panel. From the colour wheel, choose a colour for the skyscraper. I have chosen a mid-grey colour. Left click in this box to name the material. I have called mine skyscraper. Enter key to make the name change. Hold down middle mouse button to rotate the view. Tab to edit mode. The faces for my windows are still selected. If yours are not, hold down Shift whilst right clicking on each window face. In the Materials panel, left click on the plus symbol to create a new material slot. I want the windows to be blue. I have already created this material. In the Materials panel, left click on these little arrows. Existing materials are shown in the window that opens. Left click on the Windows material to select. Left click on the Assign button. The windows are now blue. A key to deselect. Tab key to return to object mode. Hold down the middle mouse button to rotate the view to see the skyscraper from different angles. 1 key on the number pad to return to front orthographic view. Use the middle mouse button to scroll and zoom out. Left click and hold on the red arrow and drag to the left of the screen. In the top right of the screen is the Layers panel. By left clicking on the border of this box, it can be extended by pulling down on the mouse. This allows me to see every object that is in the scene. Blender names objects by their default name. This can make things hard to locate if they are all called the same name. An item's name is in white to show that it's selected. Double click on the item you wish to rename. I will change this item's name from Cube to Skyscraper. Enter to commit the name change. Use the same process to change the other name from Cube to House. Now we should save our project. File, Save As. In this box, give our project a name. I have called mine 3denvironment.blend. I have a folder called Blender Files on my desktop. This is where I want the file to save to. Click on Save as Blender File button in the top right of the screen and the file will be saved.